Oh shit! They got my man Doflamingo all ready for the, for us, because we didn't know exactly what happened in his past, and we are trying to figure out what the fuck was going on with him now. Now we got it now. Now we know what's going on now. Anyway, cover page. Jinbei finds out about Law and Luffy teaming up and stuff like that. We see that Law. I'm looking at his bounty. It looks the same as Luffy's, if I'm not mistaken. 400 million. I think they're both sitting at 400 million, some shit like that. Or is he 440 million? Some shit. I mean, some astronomical fucking number. They both sitting up pretty high. But we do see that let's say Naruto. Luffy is still at 400 million so far. His bounty might go up later on, but as of right now, it's still at 400 million. Anyway, what you call him? What's this girl name? What the fuck? Raccoon? What's her name? Possum? Raccoon? Some shit like that. This girl, Koala. I knew it was an animal. I knew it. Koala. She's talking to Sabo. Sabo got pushed back by that damn gravity attack. And she's like, well, you're fighting with admirals. We ain't got time for that foolishness right now. We're part of the Revolutionary Army. We don't need to go to war with the fucking Marines right about now. We got plans. We got to do shit. We got, you're going to get us in trouble. Get to stretching his face, shit like that, talking shit, and whatever. Anyway, Sabo was talking with Fujitora, and Fujitora actually kind of agreed that, admits that, there's a corruption going on with the Marines. But he says we are all birds of a feather. Even the Marines in this country can't become heroes. And then he says it's absurd. Now, when he said we are all birds of a feather, he talking about the pirates, or is he talking about revolutionaries? I'm thinking he's talking about revolutionaries, though. Like, they're trying. The revolutionary goals and the Marines and his goals are for the good of mankind. That's what the Marine goals are supposed to be, even though we know that's bullshit. But the average Marine thinks he's doing something good, and the average Marine actually does stuff good. He stops pirates from fucking people up a lot of times. So the average Marine usually is good. But anyway, it seems as though, and I somewhat said this before, they replaced Akiji with Fujitora, and it seems as though Fujitora and Akiji shares pretty much very, very similar concepts. They're into justice, not absolute justice like real justice, so that's what it is. Whether they're going to be pirates, Marines, whatever the fuck, revolutionaries, whatever it is, that's what they're into. They're in for I think they're into the good of mankind, period, whether he's with the Marines or not. And I guess he agrees with the revolutionary to some extent, but he won't tell the Marines that, and that's what he says. Wait, did he say that? Well, he doesn't want the Marines to find out. That's what it is. But really, he doesn't agree with what the Marines are doing. Anyway, the people back at the plateau that was coming after Usopp and them, they got to him, and they cut the ropes off of him. They didn't kill him. So what happened was everybody bowed down because of the king. They said, damn, everybody's realizing, yo, we coming after the king like this when Doflamingo just revealed that he's the one that set this whole thing up. He said, why are we still coming after this man? So basically they stopped because they realized they fucked up. They said, we turned on you years ago, and now that, even though they was being tricked, but we turned on you years ago, and now when we're not being tricked and we're being told the truth, we're still turning on you. So they stopped. They said, you know what? We're going to ride with the king, right? Which makes sense. And King Riku says, you know what? This was a country of peace. He said, I'm going to try to keep the peace. You know, he wants to keep the peace. He said, we haven't been warned, so we haven't been warned. We're going to keep our hands clean. We're going to put the money on Luffy and hope Luffy, you know, wins this war. And that way, everybody's happy. Luffy beats Doflamingo because Doflamingo was his enemy. Doflamingo gets usurped, which should happen because Doflamingo is not the rightful ruler of that country. Even though his family used to rule that country, they ain't got shit to do with him. They left. King Riku can maintain his status as non-violent because it wasn't him that did it; it's the pirates that did it. Also, with Fujitora, he's in on it too. He says he's over there gambling again, or whatever. He's rolling dice, whatever. So I guess that's his thing. He's sort of like Rayleigh, but except the difference between him and Rayleigh is he's actually good at it. That's the difference. So anyway, he said, I'm going to put my bet on Luffy too. And I'm thinking he's doing it for the same reason. I want Luffy to win because, remember, he told him he had a score to settle with Doflamingo. He knows Doflamingo is shady and corrupt, and he wants to take Doflamingo down, but he can't do it just yet. So he's trying to do basically what Akiji was doing, say he's in the system. It's like, I'm in the system, but I'm going to try to save the system from within the system. So that's what it looks like. And if he leaves Luffy to beat Doflamingo, then he doesn't even have to get his hands dirty. So it makes complete sense that Fujitora would be like, yo, I got to put my bet on Luffy. Even though Fujitora might be able to take Doflamingo down. I don't think it wouldn't be, if he could take him down, it wouldn't be easy. Let's just get that out the way. Let's just get that out there. I'm not saying he could easily take him down. But what I'm saying is he's strong enough where he could possibly take down Doflamingo. And even if he couldn't, if they team up, they damn sure will be able to take down Doflamingo. Fujitora, Luffy, and Law against Doflamingo, they will win. Point blank, period. But then Fujitora will get his hands dirty. And he don't need that, right? He don't need that in his life. That's what the revolutionaries said. They said, we don't want to get our hands dirty. Looks like the Marines don't want to get their hands dirty. They let the pirates deal with it. They take all the blame. The pirates, anyway, they're already outlaws. Those don't even fucking matter. So that's what's going on with that situation. Anyway, we cut back to Luffy, Law, Doflamingo, Bellamy, and Trebol. And Luffy is sitting in front of Doflamingo. He gave him a good body shot. I mean, good ass body shot. Law's over there with Trebol. He fucking him up. It ain't no contest. Now Trebol says, we already know everything about your powers. Now that's what I was asking about before. I know that Doflamingo and them knows about Law's powers, but Law has been developing his powers for years that they don't know about. So could he have caught them off guard? Yes. Yes, he could have caught them off guard. Because he, even if they knew his power, they might not have known to the extent of how, to the extent that he developed it and catch him off guard, which it looks like he did this. And then Law says, yo, that was only a superficial wound. Don't get too excited. And that attack won't work again. Doflamingo, he doesn't let shit go by him twice. You know what I'm saying? So he already learned to watch out for that. So that's not even in the question. Trebol reveals, he says, confirms, he says that we know everything about your ability. He said, because we originally wanted the OP no me. So, they didn't have the OP no me. That must mean that they must have looked in the catalog. And remember, we should call Doflamingo got ties with the Marines. So, remember, if I'm not mistaken, CP9, they revealed that there's a catalog for the devil fruits that reveal what devil fruits are which, and what powers they have. So they already know how his powers work. But even if then, sometimes you can use your powers in different ways. So like Luffy, who would have ever, I know they ain't in the category, Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd aren't in the category. Are in the catalog. You know what I'm saying? So just because you have a devil fruit and the description of the powers the powers are described, that doesn't necessarily mean you can't work around and kind of tweak and use it in different ways. Even though it's the same power, you can use it in different ways where you can catch somebody off guard. So that's what I was thinking. Now, I'm not, as far as Trebol said, he already knows what's his powers. But here's the thing. Trebol said he knew his powers. And this confirms that I was correct. He says that he's going to reattach his body, right? I mean, Trebol was getting ready to reattach his body. He said, I already know how your powers work. What's it called? Law says radio knife creates a different kind of incision than a normal amputation. So I'm guessing that's what he calls his powers, amputation. That's pretty much what it really actually is. He said you won't be able to reattach your body parts. So they didn't know that. So obviously you can develop your devil fruit powers, and I'm not going to say gain new powers, but enhance them to a certain extent, and to the point that certain things in that catalog you won't be able, won't be able to justify where they can take the powers at. Like Crocodile. Crocodile's the same way. He's one of the guys that they said mastered his powers to the an extent where he just could do whatever he wanted with his fucking powers. That motherfucker was creating sandstorms, tornadoes, fucking earthquakes, drying shit up, turning shit into sand. He mastered his devil fruit power. Not to say that he can't further extend it, but he mastered his devil fruit power. It looks like Law's pretty much in that mastery phase too. Anyway, he goes for an attack called injection, and he's coming at him with his knife. With his sword, and he just shoots at him, right, like a damn bullet. And I'm thinking that he was getting ready to just punch a hole right through the motherfucker. He might not even use his powers on to just punch a hole, just not amputate him like with his powers, but just punch a hole through him. But he cut his snot up and everything. He was getting ready to punch a hole through that motherfucker. And even if he doesn't, if it takes his brain out, will he be able to still operate? I mean, even if his powers are still in use and it just amputates him like normal, will he be able to operate? And plus, he said radio knife doesn't allow you to reattach yourself. So if he punch your brain out like that with that type of attack, will you be able to control your body that your brain not being unattached and not being being severed and unable to reattach? Will it work like that? Because I know my man TinyMiyn. TinyMiyn didn't have his head attached to his body. He could still control his body. But if he was hit with radio knife, will it work the same way? I'm not too sure. Maybe so, maybe not. But either way, if you can't reattach your body, you fucking done. Anyway, after that, he's going for Trebol. Doflamingo jumps in, and he's able to kick his Law sword away and hit him with these strings that goes right through. It's 5 of them pierced right through Law. I mean, right through him. Shit all through his chest, every fucking thing. And in that same instant, whoop, he comes for Luffy. This motherfucker is fast. He's whoop, whoop, then he's right on top of Luffy. Luffy used Hardening Haki, covers up with his hand. Within a split second, Doflamingo's already in mid-attack, swinging his foot. He sees Luffy activate Armament Haki. He activates his. And, I mean, he crushes right through Luffy's defense. It doesn't even mean shit to him. And when he's sending him flying, he ropes his hands up. He uses his powers to entangle Luffy's, to tie up Luffy's hands, entangle them in some string. That shit was nice. So Doflamingo don't fight fair. He put some ropes in your hands, have you fucked up. He has Bellamy going for Luffy. Luffy's all tied up, can't even fucking move, gets slashed. Doflamingo doesn't play. And here's where they reveal what Doflamingo truly is. From what we've seen before, and from what we've seen from the Tenryubito before, it would seem like he deviates from that. So my thought was that he actually turned away from being the Tenryubito and actually joined up with common folk. Not saying that he thinks he's what am I trying to say? I thought he was like an evil form of Sabo. You know, like I'm with the common folks. Don't make me no difference as long as I'm fucking shit up. It don't matter who it is. And then we also have the situation where everybody, all the seven Shibukai, they all was influenced by Go Roger when he got killed, right? So I'm like, How could a pirate influence Doflamingo? So it would only make at the time it only made sense that Doflamingo was a Tenryubito and he just used his powers when he needed to. His powers at his status as a Tenryubito at that time he only used it because he needed to. And really he just, feels like a common guy, you know what I'm saying? He just fucking shit up. He didn't really matter to him. That's what it seemed like. Especially with the fact that he was influenced by a pirate. Gold Roger, a commoner, and a pirate. Come on, So it made sense that he wasn't, he was a Tenryubito, but he didn't like his status. Turns out it's the complete opposite, but it makes sense. He says that what infuriated him the most was the fact that Luffy and Law thought they could stand up to him. He says, I'm a Tenryubito. He said, I'm from the world's greatest and most noble bloodlines. So he reps that shit hard. He said it was a disgrace that they even stood up to him. But he doesn't wear that headgear. But they reveal why he doesn't in this too. Anyway, he said he acquired one of the rarest abilities in the world. Conqueror's Haki. His devil fruit power is one of the, as far as we see out of the Paramecia types, his power is one of the strongest. I don't know if it's one. You know what? His powers might not be one of the strongest. I mean, it is, but it's not. What I mean by that is, it appears that Doflamingo basically just mastered his powers to such a great ability that it seems, OP. But probably in somebody else's hand, they probably won't be able to do shit. They probably just be able to, make a couple strings or use some rope, and that's pretty much it. They'd pretty much be a souped up form of, what's that dude from Water 7, the one with all the ropes? What's his name? Polo? What's his name? Was Polo or some shit like that? I think his name was Marco. What's his name? Marco or Falco or some shit like that. But I guess that might be the case. He might have just mastered his devil fruit to just that extent. But anyway, he's got Conqueror's Haki. He's got all forms of Haki. The dude's souped up. I mean, he's strong to a fucking. As far as we know, he's the strongest Tenryubito. Period. We see the Tenryubitos. They ain't shit. This motherfucker is stronger than all of them. So we already see where he's going. He doesn't even feel like he's just one of these strong, like he's above the common folk. Feel like it looks like he's saying I'm above the Tenryubito too. He said I'm from their bloodline, but I got the strongest ability in the world. The rarest abilities in the world. So I'm even above them. So it's like, damn, wait, but you down here with the common folk. How did that happen? So it doesn't seem like it matches up now, but watch what happens later on. Anyway, he says what happened was his father abandoned it. He said that prestige that they had, the status, his father just abandoned it. And he sent his he left Mary Joa to move into what Doflamingo calls the garbage world. So his father sent him down there to live like common folk. Doflamingo didn't have on no helmet, none of that shit. So obviously, being that he's already contaminated, it don't matter whether he wears the damn helmet or not. So then, that's pretty much it right then. And that's probably when he met up with some people, right? With the people around that time, or maybe since he was down there, amongst the common folks, he's starting to find out that even though these guys are common, and even though I'm above them, they share the same goals, they're loyal, I can still use them. And remember, as long as he also feels, we also see with his ideology that he's close to the people that's close to him. So I'm guessing people that's loyal to him, he killed his own brother. But he treats other people like that like they're his brother. Like Pika, he treats him like he's his brother. So I'm guessing he doesn't care about bloodline in terms of, if you want to be with me, you're with me, whether whether blood is connected or not. So it seems like that's how he thinks. Anyway, he says that he wanted to be a Tenryubito. I mean, he was repping the Tenryubitos hard. His father said, no, we ain't about that life. So he killed his dad because his dad wanted him to be a common folk. And even though he killed his dad and brought the head back to Mary Jo and said, "Yo, my dad, what am I saying? My dad, he shit, what's the term for it? He damn." He left the Timberbeat, whatever the fuck the term is that I was looking for that came out of my head. It just slipped. He left them and denounced his status. What you call him? Doflamingo says, "I don't want that." Took the guy's head. His mother died. I guess she got sick. Remember, they up and married Joa, and they probably not used to common folks' diseases, whatever. Don't matter. She died. His father denounced that shit, but Doflamingo's like, "No, fuck that. I'm a Timberbeat at heart." You know what I'm saying? He took his head, went back to Mary Jo and said, "Yo, I want in," and they wouldn't let him back in. So now Doflamingo don't give a fuck about them, cause look, he is one of them. He's from their bloodline, and he's stronger than them, and they won't let him back. He said, "Fuck that. I'm turning against them. I'm going full strength on these motherfuckers." So not only does he have a vendetta against, remember, he's a psycho, so he wants to see the world burn. But he also has a vendetta against the Timberbeat. So now it makes sense what how he thinks. On top of that, damn, what the fuck was I getting ready to say? Shit. Fuck. Okay, so on top of shit, what the hell happened to my head just okay, Doflamingo, he can't, oh, that's what it is. Remember when I said that it didn't make sense that Doflamingo would be influenced by a pirate even though he's a Timberbeat? It does. Why? Because he had a personal vendetta against the Timberbeat for not letting him in even though he killed his own father, and he had Conqueror's Haki, or I don't know if he had it at that time, but at least he knows he killed his father in order to get back in. They wouldn't let him in, and now he has a vendetta against them. The Timberbeat are protected by the Marines. They're with the government, and they're with the Marines. They have a relationship with them. They're on that side. Who's their biggest enemies? The fucking pirates. So of course, when he sees Gold Roger, he's like, this motherfucker's taking it to these Marines and these pirates, and if the Timberbeat get involved, he'll fuck them up too. So he's like, damn, what can I be that would be the biggest disgrace to them? And being that I'm better, I don't care whether I disgrace them or not, and that I could take it to them in the shadows. What's better to be than the pirate? It makes complete sense now. So I think they really did good by Doflamingo in this chapter. Doflamingo is kind of complicated though. But here's one thing about this chapter though. It's really only 12 pages. They only gave us 12 pages. Like literally. If you count the cover page, it's only 12 pages. But what they did with Doflamingo is dope. Because they made it seem like, damn, he really doesn't want to be a Timberbeat, but if he needs to use his power, he would. But then you find out, no, this motherfucker's repping Timberbeat. He's repping his bloodline and his status hard. But now he doesn't like the Timberbeat because they sat there and shunned him even though he's better than them. Or so he thinks. Okay. He might have used Haki. I don't know what they're talking about. Well, Dolphy must be really durable because there wasn't any post damage after Red Hawk. There was damage. They showed it. He spit out some blood. You see his stomach was fucked up a little bit, but it wasn't any kind of major damage at all. Can Law ignore intangibility now? What you mean ignore? Anybody could have. Anybody could cut. Oh, he's talking about his powers. But that doesn't count. Law has Haki. Anybody could have cut Trebol with Haki. Now, in terms of his powers, you can cut him, but even with powers, they'd be able to rejoin his body back together. But remember, their bodies had to go back solid at some point in time. So I'm guessing if you cut them solid, they really cut. Remember, when they cut solid, they cut. So that's how it works. So he did. So his powers. I mean, it wasn't like he got an upgrade. He was already able to do that. Fujitora DF is stronger. Stronger than Doflamingo. Yeah, his powers are stronger than Doflamingo's, but from what we've seen so far, not saying that what I'm saying is 100% fact. Doflamingo seemed like he had mastered his fruit powers, a little bit more than Fujitora. Fujitora can drop some asteroids and use gravity sideways, up and down, whatever. That's the only thing we've seen from him so far. So, as of right now, the stream powers, even though they're not as strong, they'll work better in the battle because he's got those powers mastered. Will I read Bleach or Toriko? I actually started reading Toriko. I'm gonna give this chapter. I'll keep fucking up. I'm gonna give this chapter a 4.5 out of 5. 4.5 out of 5. Damn, should I give it a 5? I was battling with whether I should give it a 5 or not. The reason I'm battling with whether I should give it a 5 or not because the main meat of the story came at the very end, and it's only 12 pages. Actually, it's only 11 pages if you don't count the cover page. I'm gonna say 4.5, just for those two reasons. If they would have more pages, more content, because usually we get like 17 pages, they'd have more content, and we'd be seeing more stronger content throughout the chapter instead of at the very end. Then it would, hands down, would have been a 5. Okay, Doflamingo, Dolphy just shat. Oh, Dolphy just shat on Luffy's hockey by kicking. Yo, he said, "Fuck your kid." He said, "Fuck your armaments, man." Dino protests Dolphy has high durability. You protest? Hell yes. No, Doflamingo has his Dolph. He ain't playing no games. Okay, did I watch 3D 2Y? Nope, not yet, but I will. Okay, let me just see the last couple comments. I'm only read the first 2 chapters, but the first chapter is 54 pages of Toriko. Okay, I'm glad Dolphy isn't a good guy that turned bad. He is a rascal from the yup. This chapter was 760. Your title is wrong. Hold the fuck on now. Oh, whoops. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I fucked up. Yeah, I'll switch the title around though. As soon as I get done with this, I'm switch the title back. Okay. It is a new anime special. Okay, anyway, I do have to watch the One Piece special. I already started on Toriko. The first 2 chapters, I'll talk about that when I do my video on it. But go ahead and leave your comments, like the video, and subscribe, because I can't eat. I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke. And you got the power to change that.